Hey there everybody, Stuart Knight here with a video that I hope will help you boycott what you thought and lead you to a life that you actually deserve as opposed to the life that so many people seem to be leading these days. All right, here we go. Let's talk about bullies. I know you've had to deal with them, right? They're everywhere. I've had to deal with them. In fact, I just had to deal with one recently, which is the reason why I'm talking about this week. So I travel around the world. I speak to all kinds of different groups, and I have all kinds of clients, and most of them are absolutely amazing. However, once in a while, I do come across a bully. And this is what happened to me recently. It was a woman, all right? They come in all shapes and sizes, and she was showing all the signs of being a bully. She was aggressive, she was rude, she was demeaning, she would cut me off when I was speaking. You know, you've seen it. I'm sure you've dealt with it as well. Now, most people, they'll just take it. I was like, I'm not taking it. And the reason I'm not taking it is because throughout my entire life, I've never taken it. And I don't take it because when I was a kid, I learned that bullies will crumble if you just stand up to them. Okay, so now my experience is one where I was lucky. I was growing up as a child and I was popular for all the reasons why boys are popular. I was good at sports, I made friends easily, I was funny, whatever. Okay, so for me though, because I was popular, every so often I would have certain other boys, or when I got into high school, guys and even men in my 20s and 30s, who they would be bullies to me. They didn't like my popularity. They didn't like the fact that maybe I made friends easier than they did. And so what they do is, instead of dealing with it or trying to improve upon themselves, they just wanted to hurt me. Now, in many cases, they would try to hurt me with words, but once in a while, they would try to actually hurt me with their fists. And this is a true story, not just one story, but many times this has actually happened to me. Now, for these individuals who have gone that far and tried to do that to me, unfortunately for them, I did grow up, I was very lucky, in a family of boxers. You see, my grandfather was a boxer, my dad was a boxer, and me growing up, I had gloves in my hands probably by the age of 7. Now, I never went looking for fights. Fighting is not fun. Why would you want to get into a fight when you can have a laugh? That's my perspective. But once in a while, certain people will push you so deep into a corner, they give you no choice. And in my life, I've had about 4 or 5 times, physically, where men or teenagers or people in their 20s or 30s, depending on how old I was, they pushed me physically into a corner and they wanted to fight me. And in those situations, I had no choice but to do what I know how to do, and that was to punch them in the face. Now, I'm not trying to impress you right now. I'm just trying to tell you what my experiences in life have been. And when I've done that, and sometimes you have to hit them more than one time because they're big people, well, I found out very quickly that bullies will crumble very quickly. And now, from that experience, I've brought this into my adulthood, and today I don't want to fight anyone. Today, it's all about doing it with words. But I learned the lesson because of the fights that I used to get into as a kid, the lesson that bullies are just big babies, and what they're trying to do is go out there and put on a persona that is not actually indicative of the way they're feeling on the inside. And I know as you watch this right now, you probably are going through an experience where you're either dealing with a bully or you have in the past. And bullies will be people that we sometimes are in relationships with, or it could be a boss, it could be a neighbor, it could be a friend. And these individuals act in a way that is inappropriate, that is not warranted. And you have to ask yourself whether you're going to stand for it or whether or not you're going to give them a quick across the head. Now, not with your hands. Now that we're adults, we got to do it with 4 things. Number 1, you got to do it with your words. You got to speak in a very clear and concise way. And you have to look this person in the eyes and you have to say to them, I am not going to take this type of behavior. I am not standing for it. Number 2, I just said about your eyes. You got to make sure you always tell them with your eyes. This is not something you deal with via text message. This is not something you deal with via email. It's got to be face to face. All right? What you do is you look them in the eyes and you have to have that feeling behind your eyes, that energy behind your eyes that says, it's not happening. I'm not going down this path. You are not going to treat me this way. Number 3, you have to have body language that lets that individual know you're not going to stand for it, okay? So you don't want to be talking to the person like this and listen, you know, I was just kind of hoping that maybe you would stop speaking to me like that and in front of the other people in the office. No. You look them in the eyes and you say, look, I'm not taking this anymore. The way you speak to me is inappropriate and I will not stand for it anymore. Big body, square your shoulders, have confidence in your eyes and speak to them directly. Which brings me to point number 4, confidence. You just heard me say it. You've got to have the confidence to know that this individual that you might be afraid of now is nothing more than a little child on the inside. And you are only letting them think that they're bigger than they are every time you take their bullshit. Okay? So, be respectful, obviously. I'm not talking about you going out there and getting into fights. I'm talking about you, though, standing up for yourself in life. Because guess what? Life is short, and the last thing anybody ever wants is regret. It is the worst feeling in the world, and you do not want to find yourself in a situation where you've got your final breath on this planet and you look back at your life and you think about all the bullies that pushed you around, all the bullies that didn't let you really experience life the way that you deserved. You deserve the best relationships. You deserve the best friendships. You deserve the best jobs. You deserve the best experiences. You deserve to be able to live in your house or your apartment or wherever you live in peace and not have to worry about your bully neighbors. So stand up for yourself. I'm not talking about screaming and shouting. I'm not talking about getting into fistfights. I'm talking about just looking somebody in the eye and say, hey, heads up, ain't gonna happen. And if you do that, watch how your life changes. Boycott what you thought. It'll lead you to such a better life. Good luck. Bye-bye.